Hello, welcome back to the Caffeinated Mammal Compilation Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Fox, and on this episode we have Atlanta band Menu. They talk about lifelong friendships, retro hairstyles, boutique candle making, and they give us a performance of their song Castling from their upcoming album. Alright, so we are in the studio with Menu from Atlanta. This is technically our second take because my computer shit the bed a minute ago. Fingers crossed that this works out. So, you guys...
Rest in peace, all that good content.
All right, right. It was gold.
Yeah, we wrote a whole fan fiction, dude. It was crazy.
Right, it was wild.
A whole orchestra was playing
There were
the entire
ups,
time.
there
but
were
they had
downs.
to leave
We
due to time
shed
constraints.
tears.
Yeah.
We hugged it out. It was crazy.
Yeah. So let's do introductions, individual and band introductions, and then we'll go from there.
My name is Mick. I am a singer in a band called Menu.
I'm Steve. I play guitar and I yell and I sing, but yeah, I yell.
Yell sing.
Yeah.
I'm Yo Watson. I play the guitar.
I'm James. I slap at the bass and move my hips.
You do move your hips a lot, that's true.
Michael Michaels, tight end. No, I play the drums.
Yeah.
Dan Smith, BYU. Oh shit!
You just beard yourself.
Don't pay no mind to the beer I spilled all over my pants.
It's urine. It's urine.
All right. So let's talk about how you guys met. It was a very cute story that we got organically a minute ago. But let's see if we can get it.
Organically. Go for it.
Rewind. So we were little wee kids when we were in middle school. Me and Steve said hello in the hallway. I went back to his house. We played some video games. We started playing some music together, and we called ourselves Menu.
Skadoosh.
And then, is that how that happened?
That is pretty much how that happened, actually.
But yeah, no, we started in middle school. Me and him became friends, and we just hung out. Honestly, we just hung out and just started making music together. That's how
We're actually still friends, believe it or not.
yeah.
That's wild.
We started playing pizza places and coffee shops with acoustic guitars in like middle school, high school, and then we were like, "Hey, you like Chili Peppers? You like Young the Giant? You like Coldplay?" And now our music sounds nothing like any of those people. But yeah, me and Mick started doing that in like high school. We took a break for school, and then we came back together, like just a true romance story.
Yeah, some Hallmark shit.
Exactly, it really was. We're working on the movie. But me and Mick were like, shit, we need a band. And then I met Yo Watson, and then Yo Watson knew James, and then James and Yo Watson both knew Mike, and then we started a band, and we called it Menu, and it was really hot.
Yeah. So tell our listeners, because I heard it a minute ago, but like tell our listeners how you came up with this name, because that was just.
Oh, well, what happened was I was playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and
And then Steve was like, "Yo, we need a band name for me and you, right?"
Me and you, because we used that text lingo because we were cool kids in 2014.
And then we kind of came to the consensus that Menu was probably the best idea.
Yeah.
that we would
You
come
honestly-
up with.
It's very searchable.
It is.
Yeah.
I think you actually originally was like,
I ain't
what
gonna
about
lie.
Menu?
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "What about just the Menu?" Because
I
at
do-
first he said me and you.
Yeah.
I did.
I do love your Instagram handle. It's Can I Get a Menu? Damn.
Can I get a Menu Damn? Where that came from is we were sitting outside of my old apartment and we were looking up variations of Menu Instagram names and we couldn't have any. And then we were like, what if we were just at Waffle House right now? And they just, not that we need a menu anyway at Waffle House, but
I want the waffles.
we were just like, man, can I get a Menu Damn? And then that.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys want to tell your perspective of the band?
Yeah, that's how we know it.
Yeah.
Well, here we go again. Take two.
You can do it.
So I had met Mick at Music and Arts buying cello strings, I think, for one of my friends.
Oh, yeah,
and
Music and
he
Arts.
was like, "Oh, you work at Guitar Center. Do you know Steve?" And I said yes. And then the next day, I went and talked to Steve, and they said they needed a bass player. So I played bass for the first show, and we had a different guitar player at the time. And yeah, after that, I started playing guitar, and I'd been playing with James for years. We just would jam for fun all the time. And then I had known Mike through Guitar Center. And we would jam on our lunch break sometimes, and it was a lot of fun back in the day when you still had a ponytail.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Good time. Way too loud.
I don't think I even knew that you ever had a ponytail. I think
My-
I just discovered this.
That was glorious.
I mean,
They joined back in what was that, 2022? Was it about 2 years
It's
ago?
been about
I
2
mean,
years.
I had
Yeah.
a mohawk once, and no one gives a shit about that.
And I didn't know that either. Wow, look at us discovering new cool things about each other.
I love that. Like I have long hair, and now you're just like, dude has long hair.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it's like that dude had a ponytail. Like that motherfucker was Steven Seagal.
Absolutely.
And he wore it in one style.
Absolutely do not fuck with.
Right. Right.
Not to be fucked with.
No.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to add anything about your experiences here?
Yeah, I mean, to me, you know, I've been in my fair share of bands and everything, and to me, after I joined Menu through you, Watson, you know, from Guitar Center, to me, it really feels like it's a
Guitar
really
Center.
unique group of people.
Fuck
You know,
Guitar Center,
like
fuck
I
Guitar
feel like
Center.
everybody here is completely different.
We're never getting that sponsorship now.
And just I don't know, like I feel like everybody brings something really unique to the table, and it makes something like greater than the sum of the parts, you know.
I'm
Which
gonna
is
cry.
Which is a really, it's a really cool feeling. I feel like that's what the album really feels like to me.
Yeah.
And just one thing, when I went to the first show that Watson was playing,
Yeah, because you were there. You went and saw it.
when he was playing bass, he's like, "Yeah, I'm playing bass." I'm like, "Okay, I'm very, very curious to see what that's gonna be like." The first thing,
He had no faith.
absolutely none. But the thing is,
I've been playing bass.
the
longer than
the
guitar,
first
right?
thing I realized was like the group's just fun. Like when I heard the music, my first thought was like, "That's fun. I kind of want to be part of that." So I was like slipping subliminal messages to you, Watson. I was like, "Hey, if y'all ever need a bassist or something, you know."
Did you
hit
assault
me
his
up."
mind with subliminal messages?
I've been doing that since I met him.
You slid into those
You're
mental
always
DMs.
my go-to.
I
bass
slid
player.
into those cerebral DMs, like, "Yo, go back to guitar."
Well, my plan was to try and go to guitar, so you were obviously this guy can play bass and I can play guitar.
Yeah,
and,
but I mean, the first thing I realized about the group prior to joining was just like the music itself is dancey, it's fun,
Yeah.
and that was what I was instantly kind of
I can
like.
tell.
I
a
want in with that.
Yeah.
I
I just
can
want to be
tell
a part of that.
truncated version of the story I told before. But when Watson played bass for that first gig, the opener that was originally going to be there, they couldn't make it. So Watson's band, Heart Surgeon, they opened because the drummer just happened to be there, and I watched Watson play guitar, and I was like, we didn't really plan on having another guitar player ever, but like seeing him, it was like,
It just worked.
yeah, absolutely,
Which
yeah.
also opened up another spot. And now
Absolutely,
we've got
yeah.
a Foxy
And then
Grandpa.
James pulled out a 7-string bass, and I was like, "Oh, brother, this
What is
guy!"
this?
And then he played it, and I loved it. So
Yeah, I'd say like everything we needed before they were here, we got with them, and
it all
plus
lined
some,
up.
especially with the new project that we're working on.
Yes.
These guys are so amazing.
So let's talk about that record. I've seen like all of your Instagram stories and whatnot. It's been cool to follow along and just kind of check that out. So tell me about how that's coming. What's it going to look like?
I'll come
Release
clean.
date.
I deactivated my Instagram for a little second for like a week. You need to take a mental break, guys. Honestly, I'm making a PSA right now. Definitely just take a break from social media if you feel like you need to. It's okay. Nobody's gonna miss you. Okay, bye bye.
We're about to get canceled.
nobody's gonna miss you.
Nobody.
You heard it
cares
here.
about you.
Nobody's gonna miss you,
There's your mental break.
I'm gonna.
Everybody hates you. Yeah.
and that's the name of our metal album now.
Only on Instagram.
Everybody hates you.
No one will miss
No one
you.
will miss you.
Anyway, about this record,
This record's about hope.
So
Can
I
you
mean,
name
kinda.
it? No one will miss you if you haven't put out. If you don't have a name for it yet.
Yeah.
There it is.
No one will miss you if you deactivate your Instagram. You heard it here first. That's the name of
we've
the
actually
album.
got a name for it. We'll tell you about that later.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So me and Mick were like doing the music before these guys joined, and like we were having a good time with it and everything. But like when we all five of us got into a room together and we're just like, dicking around on assorted licks and tasty jams, we and then we started like coming up with this really, really cool stuff, and we were doing what all the bands do, which is like, oh, do we do a record? Do we do an EP? Do we only do all this other crap? And then we were like, how about if we just don't give a shit about what we think the market wants or the people want or the blah, blah, blah want, and we just do whatever we want to do. So we decided that we wanted to do a record because we just had so many cool jams.
Right? I hate the singles mentality that we have now. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's just like, an album is so much of a different, like, because you're saying something, and I feel
I've always been the person that like a band that I love puts out a single. I'm not going to listen to it till that record comes out because I want the whole experience at once.
Yes, absolutely.
And now I don't know if it's safe to do that or if I'm legitimately missing out the only format they're going to put something out in.
I was gonna say, I can't lie. When a band that I really, really love puts out a single, I'm listening to it right away. But at the same time, I almost listen to it differently when I hear it as part of a record.
See, I like to listen to a record not knowing, oh, this is the single, so it's the song I'm supposed to like the most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Interesting thing about that, I really like Rise Against. And their like biggest song is Savior. And I heard a thing where like they put it at the end of their record that they put it out on because they were like, we don't even really like this song that much. Like it's not really that good. And
clever.
it turned into their biggest song, So like it just goes to show that.
I think that might be. I read that that book that's on my shelf over there, Sellout. And they were talking about that too. And I think maybe it was them that was talking about like they didn't even want to put that song on the record,
absolutely.
and
I
then the
think
label's
that's where
like, no, that's the single, bro.
Yeah. And the producer Jason, I think, was like, yeah, that's what needs to happen.
Right.
But anyway, that all ties back to like we just had a bunch of really cool songs, and we're like, well, like TikTok wants singles. It's fucking whatever. We want to do an album, and we're gonna make it cool.
It's so hard to do that anyway, man.
It is
Content.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the album goes, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like,
Very proud with what we've done so far, and I'm sure by the end it's gonna sound even cooler.
Do you guys have like a target date?
nope.
It
Sick.
was finish it by the end of January originally.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it
know
was
that.
finish it by the end of January.
And we're in March.
The
so
target date is asape, por favor.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately speaking, it's probably going to be fall.
Yeah.
So
That's
we'll have
fair.
singles sooner than that.
I was
but-
going to put out an EP in January, and it's not even halfway done yet.
I mean,
that's how it
happens.
goes, right?
But
We
that's
have
what makes
jobs.
it so organic in the sense
Right.
where, like, it's a living thing. Like, you can't expect your kid to grow up when you want your kid to grow up. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
And
you can with enough
sometimes they just-
supplements,
yeah.
everyone.
and discipline.
And discipline.
Yeah. So
Just Don't
okay.
be afraid to throw the elbow.
So your song "Castling," which you're going to play for us later,
Yes.
and that's going to be on this record, right?
I'm going to defer to James.
And James, you wrote this.
Yeah, so one of the things I've enjoyed about this group is Humble 1 and Humble 2 keep saying that the three of us brought a lot when we came to the group. Castling was an example of a song that when I wrote it on guitar, my approach to guitar is to compensate for the fact that I'm not primarily a guitarist by trying to find simple ways to do interesting things. So I was trying to play the lead and the chords at the same time and things of that nature, and
Which
it never.
sounds not simple.
If I had a
In
guitar,
true James fashion, not simple.
if I had a guitar and showed you how I originally played it, you'd be like, "Oh, that's it." But the thing is, the song never quite had a home because I had a lot of other studio projects and other groups I've been in, and it never just quite fit. I'd show it. We'd try it. It never was a thing. I showed it off here, and it kind of just clung.
Yeah.
And at that point, it took a while before it kind of emerged into what it is. But I can tell you now, it's not anything like what my thought process was at the time. And I can be a little controlling about my songs. So having
pissed.
to, so I'm fuming.
They ruined it.
God, if left to my own devices, I would have ruined it. But the thing is, the soul, what I get from everybody contributing their own part to it is something that's 10 times better than it would have been on its own. Like lyrically, the term castling for the song, originally my concept was about just kind of knowing that you're going downhill. And rather, in chess, castling meaning that the castle would move to protect the king and block it in the corner. And the one line that stayed from everything I wrote lyrically was, "I'll build defenses all around to bury me when they come crashing down," is this whole like thing about rathering that your own life crash on you than admit that you could use a little bit of help. And that's
God, I
the
feel
only
that.
thing lyrically that stood. What they got out of it later is better than anything I was ever coming up with.
Don't say that.
Well, that's the thing about it. I think there's new life and energy in it because there's fresh eyes on it.
Yeah.
And that nature. So it's a different song now. But I still think it's a great song. I mean, every single person here contributed something I would not have been able to contribute myself.
So it's evolved both musically and lyrically since you introduced it to the band.
Absolutely.
But
Everything evolves. The more cooks in the kitchen, the better the dish.
Yeah.
I mean, some would disagree.
Depends on the dish, but yeah.
Depends on the dish. I don't want too many people making my cereal. You know what I mean?
Have you guys
Don't touch my scrambled eggs.
have you guys seen that video, The Too Many Cooks?
Yeah, of course.
Too many cooks.
God.
Too many cooks. No, just to go off of that real quick. Like the album is like becoming this really cool thing that has legitimately 5 interpretations for 5 members of the band, and I think like it all kind of comes back to like this idea of like getting through whatever you're getting through.
Yeah.
At using whatever safe and healthy devices and things.
Drugs and hookers.
Yeah. Well, you should use a lot of blow. No, like leaning on your friends.
I'm making my own record with blackjack and hookers.
Guys, I'm trying to be really wholesome here, and you're fucking it up for me. No, but like leaning on your friends, like looking intrinsically, trying to determine like what you need to do about yourself, that kind of thing. Do
Yeah.
you have anything to add to just the record in general? Mike's like,
Yeah, I mean, to me, it really, again, I don't know if I said this in the last take or not, but I'll say it again, that, like, I really do feel like this group it's greater than the sum of the parts. And to me, that this album that we're working on now really feels like it's, like, the mark of, it just feels like everybody's contributing something, and it really feels like it represents all of us and, like, what we bring to the table. Like, to me, in my experience, I really feel like it's been really rewarding, one, hearing everything get recorded and with the quality of everything and all of that.
Your takes are amazing, bro.
Oh, come on.
We were literally underneath him while he was recording his takes, and if you could experience that,
You're like sitting on the floor.
could you go into that a little more? We were
He was sitting on their
we were
backs.
bottoming while he was. No, he was playing the drums.
They were the
studio's
chairs.
downstairs.
Shout out Corey.
No,
Shout out Corey.
Corey is a
Corey
fucking
Batista.
badass. Oh, my God.
Badass.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I've been very proud listening back to all the demos we have so far and hearing, like, if I focus on a specific instrument, like I focus on the drum part that's going on in the moment, I'm just like, holy shit, fucking Mike. And then, like, focus on what the bass is doing.
Yeah.
And just, like, blown away by what everyone does
Very cool.
so far. So I'm very excited for the finished product. And we don't even have vocals done on anything yet, so
Well, I'm stoked to hear it when it's ready.
It's gonna be cool.
It'll be good. So, do you guys want to talk about anything else or plug anything before you guys fire it up and play this tune?
ATL.
I sell my own line of candles. They smell horrible. Don't buy them. They're called Stink Candles by Yotzen. Again, don't buy them. They smell awful.
What's your like worst seller?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. You open the can of worms, bro.
I know it's
That's all you.
the doo-doo carpaccio. It's probably the worst one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I don't know,
god
lemon
awful.
piss.
The lemon piss is probably the close second. Yeah.
Perfect.
I thought Can of Worms was pretty
It's
bad
just-
because it was literally a can of worms on fire.
Can of worms is number 7.
I
in the
cannot
worst
repeat this
sellers.
enough.
Yeah.
Do not buy his candles.
Please don't. Your eyes will water every time, even when they're not lit.
The
Don't
FDA
buy them.
does not approve.
Right on. Cool.
I'd say we're like the snack that smells back. Goldfish.
I guess. Sure.
I
Sure.
love you.
I second that. We are the snack that indeed smiles back. Goldfish.
I love these people, and we love each other, and it's really hot. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know exactly when this episode's coming out, but shameless self-promotion. We are playing a show together tonight.
We literally are. Sean, we are going to make sweet musical love here,
yeah.
and it's gonna
Hell
also
yeah.
be really hot.
Time travel.
Everyone listening to this right now, you missed a hell of a time, probably. I don't know yet. It hasn't
You
happened.
missed the part where you Watson started peeing on my pedal board, and then I had to scoop it up with my hands.
Bust out
Dude,
your
and I couldn't keep
DeLoreans,
up.
ladies
He
and
was peeing
gentlemen.
so
Get her up
fast.
to 80
It happens,
miles an
man. You drink
hour
beer,
and
you
come
gotta
see
pee.
us play.
Yeah. Cool.
Drink beer, you gotta pee.
Hell yeah.
Granddad used to say that.
Shout out Sweetwater 420.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm stoked to have you guys here, and he's gonna play Castling for us, and
We can
Have a
play a
good time.
song.
play a
We're
song.
gonna play a song real quick.
Right on. Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you.
This is Yotzen signing off.
Here's Menu performing their song Castling.
My love, I have
Show my face. I hiked 1,000 miles into the sea. I built you a house to wash away. Pulled by the toe, it's title. Stone castle we built is my home. And I built the fences all around to bury me when they come crashing down. Come crashing down.
I'm in HR.
All right.
I thought I was HR though.
You are HR.
Then who do we complain to?